As usual, what's going on? All right. Thanks for stopping by your friendly gas powered bike page. For those who haven't been here before, welcome. What I try to do is help those and demonstrate things I have fixed and come up with solutions for the person building their own gas powered bike at home. Today I'm going to discuss my frustration with the 2-cycle engines and setup. I know we don't know one another, but my resume is long on these. I will give you a demonstration of my resume here in just a moment. But I have noticed through the years that the quality hasn't really improved on the 2-stroke bike motor kits. And I'm not going to nitpick every little part of them. I'll give you an overall synopsis, but I'm mainly talking about the quality of the engines themselves. Granted, the more bikes you put together, the more the percentage that you could have a problem when installing these bike motors. And it's not really the installation part, it's really the performance and longevity of the 2-stroke motor. So, having said that, let's get to it. Here we have one of the aforementioned motorized bicycle with the 2-stroke setup. Before we get into the video, just so you know that I'm not a person who put 2 bikes together, and now I think I'm an authority on them, because I'm not going to talk for 45 minutes on my mechanical resume through the past 38 years. But, not that I've been putting motorized bicycles together for 38 years, just a mechanical resume. But each one of these is a rag joint in this box. Trusty box. Rag joint, rag joint, rag joint, rag joint, rag joint. It is tacked to the rim, as you can see, above the rim. And every one of those represents a motorized bicycle that I have put together throughout the years. I have a whole complete other box with rag joints in it, but I didn't have another stool to put it on to show you. But that is the number of these I have put together. So I like to think that I have built quite the resume and have quite the historic experience on the good, bad, and ugly of the motorized bicycles. Now, we're not going to cover every tidbit of a motorized bicycle, and I'm not saying they're bad. Today's video just discusses the 2-cycle engine kit, because throughout the years, I have kind of noticed myself that the quality is slipping on these kits. And when I say that, I mean the internal build, just an engine itself, the whole overall package. I'm becoming a bigger fan of the 4-stroke engine kits, and I do believe in the future I am going to start swaying that way 100%, because your customers do not have any problems with those as much as you do a 2-stroke motor. In the past, I've had 2-stroke engines, the cylinder and piston gall and die prematurely, then the customer has to put another motor on there or rebuild the top of the engine. I've also had them come right out of the box and not even start, where I had to repair the engine for whatever reason to make it run. And that is just, yeah, it defeats the whole purpose of buying a new motor. You buy a new motor because you don't want any problems. You don't buy a new motor so you can bring it back, build it for the company or whomever, and then install it on the bike. That's just counterintuitive to the whole process of offering motorized bikes. I want to give people a quality piece. I cannot give people a quality piece if the parts they're distributing to me are not quality pieces. So if you're thinking of getting a 2-stroke bike, know first and foremost that it's a 50-50 deal. I have put them on bikes just like this before, taken them out, and they didn't even start. And on the other hand, I have taken them out, they have started, and they've only ran like 2 minutes, and they had internal problems, and they completely blew up right there. I've had one where I took it out for a test ride, was digging in my pocket when I got back to the shop for the key to come in the door, and the motor locked up inside because the magneto fell apart. And then you got to go back to the company, and if it's within the 30 days, A lot of times they'll help you out and send you another motor, but you're still without a bike. You still got a motor that's blowed up. You're still on the bus. You're still taking an Uber to work after you spent all the money on your little bike, and that's just aggravating. If it's over 30 days, that's usually their walkout door. Well, sir, we only guarantee them for 30 days. We don't know what you did to the motor, and you have to flat out purchase another one. And that is understandable because they do have to set a time limit somewhere. They don't guarantee them forever. I don't believe anything is. Some car parts, but we're not dealing with car parts. So we're dealing with motorized bikes. I've also had in the past, and I have one myself, a two-stroke bike that I've had for well over 6 years, probably going on 7, well over 15,000 miles on it, hasn't given me any problem at all. So the decision's up to you. I'm not going to say do it or not do it. That's up to you. I just want everyone to know that when you get into these, especially the two-stroke setup, and it doesn't matter what brand you pick, it can be one of those Phantoms, it could be one of those 100 cc's, it could be an 80 cc BRH, doesn't matter. And the one thing they all have in common is they all come from China. I personally think that it's just a couple, maybe even 2 companies and some other distributors actually put their name on it. It's not really the company. Never could 100% figure that out. Too much rigmarole in that business world to find out if a person's just ordering a bunch of motors and then they put their name on it, and now it is that name, and that is the name they go under, and that is supposedly the brand of the engine. I know that Zeta or Zeta, I've heard it both ways, not really sure which way it's pronounced, is its own little company over in China. But if you take 3 or 4 of these motors and tear them all apart and lay them next to each other, there's very subtle differences in a couple brands. So they're basically the same engine, but they are 100% all coming from China. Nothing personal to the China people out there. It's just, you could put a little better metal quality and a little more quality in your two-stroke motors. So, from here forth, myself, I am going to go with the 4-stroke motors. Because let me share a video of all the 4-stroke motors and setups that I've had returned or had people call and had problems with since their installation. Right here in this video is all of the 4-stroke motors that I've had either returned or got phone calls on because they were having engine problems or bike operating problems. Yes, the little 4-stroke motors for motorized bikes, they all come from China, but they seem to have a little better quality to them. But right here is a video of all the ones I have sitting here with problems. Right here in the video is yet another 2-stroke motor that the customers had problems. This engine just quit running right out of the blue. Has gas, has spark, cylinder looked good when I took the head off of it. Does not run. Just right out of the blue, does not run. And as aforementioned, this one is past the 30-day date, so the customer has to buy another engine. I offered to tear it apart and take a look at it and see, but by the time you get the labor involved, the gasket kit, finding out what's wrong with it, you're money ahead just to purchase another engine, another bullet, if you will. So that is why I do believe, I think from the future, from this day going forward, I'm going to more focus on the 4-cycle bike setup myself. The customer has less problems. If you're thinking about which one to build, in my personal opinion, I would go with the 4-stroke. No matter what brand it is, BRH has one, Hashtag has one. The one I have, if you've seen my past videos, is an Amble, and I've had absolutely no problems with it. Yes, it does cost a few extra dollars, but it's worth it. Because this could be you with your 2-stroke. I'm not saying there isn't 4-strokes out there that have a problem, but the percentage is way, way lower than the two strokes, at least from my past years of experience. So make the decision yourself. Me personally, gonna head to the four-stroke world. As I said, from this video forward, yes, I will still help people if they want to assemble a two-stroke bike, but I don't think I'll be offering them any further myself, at least not until the quality of the products improve. I'm not about handing people a product just for their money. The whole world seems to be going that way. Every company just wants your money, but the customer service is lacking or does not exist at all. I don't want to take part in that myself. When I hand you a motorized bike, as a customer, I want that thing to work for you for thousands of miles, as trouble-free as possible, as long as you, the rider, are not the one out abusing and tearing up the parts. I just mean I don't want the bike to preternaturally break and have problems all the time. Because if I bought a car and I had to work on it every Thursday, put an alternator on it, put a starter on it, put a water pump on it, put a head gasket on it, I don't want to buy that car. If I'm spending my money, I want my money to last and I want a quality product. I would rather spend an extra $150 myself than save $150 and have $500 worth of aggravation. So the decision's up to you. My percent of the two-cycle bike problem throughout the years has equaled about 50-50 now. They either run forever, trouble-free, or you have problems in the beginning, a month down the line, or if you get lucky, you never have any problems. But you don't know this until you get into it and get involved. That's the downside. So for the poor folks that are ordering a bike and hoping for trouble-free, it is a 50-50 hope, because there is a chance with these two-stroke motors that it may or may not run. It may last forever. It may last for 5 minutes. I just want you to know that going in. All right, that's enough of my, I guess, semi-rant video. I know there are people out there who haven't had any problems with their two-stroke motor, and you are one of the lucky ones, much like myself, and a few other people I know. If you have purchased a two-stroke motor and it doesn't run, or it doesn't run right, or it broke immediately, you're part of my group of people that have had that problem. And I just think if they build them a little bit better, a little more quality in the steel, a little more quality in the assembly, that people would have a much better percentage of not having problems. All right, to my next informative video, I got to get back to cleaning the shop, because if you followed my videos in the past, my shop has been packed with all kinds of stuff, and it's time to get that situated.